I want to welcome everyone this afternoon. Appreciate you guys being here and joining us. Very excited about important announcement for our program. Just couldn't be more thrilled to welcome Dylan McCullough back to Indiana. Individual that I worked with my first year here as defensive coordinator. Just so much respect for him as a man, so much respect for him as a football coach, leader of that room, leader of his family, and just a complete fit with who we are here. And he was obviously a big part of this place when he was here before, and the role that he played as running backs coach. And excited to bring him back in an expanded role as associate head coach, which in our program is not just a title. It's something that he'll be given lots of responsibilities to really impact this team, and a role that I was very aggressive about with Mike Hart, and allowing him to have an impact on this team in that position. And I just feel like that it made us better, and I expect it to even grow beyond that here with Dylan's experience, and everybody knows where he's coming from and what he's been a part of here recently, and such a tremendous opportunity in the NFL to win a Super Bowl, to be in the last three AFC Championship games, and just an amazing job of connecting with his players everywhere he's been. And I just think that's kind of the common theme. He's just such a great teacher, a great model of how you live your life and do things with a high degree of detail and a high degree of effort, high degree of focus, and just excited for him to bring that leadership to our team, and the culture that we built here, and the environment that we've established. And I know that our players are very, very excited to get to know him, to work with him, and have him here with us, and help us continue to grow our program and compete for championships here in the Big Ten. So with that being said, I want to welcome Dylan McCullough to the Indiana University football staff.
Well, first off, Tom, I just want to say how honored I am to have an opportunity to rejoin the IU football family. It's just, everything has been a blessing up to this point. And, and I know I was asked during Super Bowl week just about my experience at IU. And I said, I was forever indebted, to Indiana, for just the foundation that they let me get as a coach. I think things go full circle. And I've always continued to track IU and been a huge fan from afar. And when the opportunity, where I was in my career at this point came, that I could marry back up with Indiana, is something that I jumped at. I'm the one that contacted Tom. I think he might have been slightly blown away. And I said to him a text, I said, hey, I want to come back to IU, and all the details made perfect sense. But more importantly, just what Tom is doing with the effort that the university, the commitment that the university has made to continue to advance the program. The whole world sees it. I seen it coming. I'm not going to act surprised that Tom got us to this point. But I'm just honored to be back in a situation where I can come back and have a positive impact on IU as a whole, specifically working with the football program, working with the running backs, and with Tom's blessing, being able to have a wider range of impact on the football program as a whole. So, seeing some good things over these last few years. When I left IU, went to USC. Obviously, we won the Pac-12. Then came to the Chiefs. We should have went to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, to be completely honest. But we went to the AFC Championship the first year, and then we won the Super Bowl the second year, then we got kind of tripped up here a couple of days ago. But just been around some great things, opportunities to grow. And just like I told Tom not too long ago, maybe a week ago or so, I want to bring those things that I've learned and been a part of to IU to help take it to the next level.
All right. Thank you, Dylan. Welcome back. Guys, I know Dylan knows some of you guys, but please state your name and your outlet when you ask him a question. We'll start with Matt Weaver.
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
What's going on, my friend?
Not too much. I guess the question is, you kind of talked about it, but, other than, missing being around me, what made you want to come back to Indiana?
Well, to me, everything just, happens in God's timing. And I think just the timing of everything fit for what where I was at this point. And my whole thing with going to the NFL, I know I said this maybe to somebody last week, unrelated to what we're talking about right now, was to learn and earn respect. But the learning part was for me to come back to college to make me a better coach. So that was my goal in the NFL. And I think, as a position coach, and then some of the things we accomplished as a team, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish by going there. The IU circumstance, and it's been teams, since I've been in the NFL, every year there's been opportunities to go back to college. None that I ever sought out. IU was the first one. When I seen that opportunity, I hit Tom as soon as I seen it. I'm sitting there, getting ready, game planning for a game, and shot Tom a text. And just everything just fit for me, just Coach Allen, the program, the direction that it's headed in. And I just said, man, I just felt it in my spirit that I wanted to be part of the next step that IU football takes. My family, we really enjoyed Bloomington. So, once we get past some of those things, big thing in my family, we really enjoyed it down there. The move to Kansas City was to put us back into a situation similar to Bloomington as far as the neighborhoods and different things like that. California was like a whole different world to us, so everything just matches philosophically, and just, as far as, me and Coach Allen and what, his view for what the program is and what it will ultimately be. And I just want to be a part of that.
Right, Zach Osterman.
Coach, how are you doing? It's been a while. I think it's been 10 years since the last time you were introduced. I was wondering if you had any tips for how I could get back to what I weighed 10 years ago, the last time we talked to you, the first time you were hired in Indiana. I guess it just you've talked about it in different ways, but as I imagine, kind of dive deeper into the roster, just the nuts and bolts of the program. What is it that you see in Indiana that maybe is just continuing to kind of carry this project forward that obviously you were a part of for several years?
Well, the culture that Coach Allen has created there, it's evident. I'm telling you, when I talk to people about my decision to come to Indiana, I'm talking about Coach Reed down the line. Everyone, Coach Reed, when I talked to Coach Reed about this, he started talking about Tom like he knew him. I said, man, you know him? He said, nah. He said, I could see his energy. I could see what he was doing. And everybody says the same thing. You're talking about, even from the NFL vantage point, they talk about Tom Allen and the commitment that the university has made, and that it's clearly starting to show and pay dividends. So, that was further confirmation for me, not that I needed it, but just as the more I articulate the fact that I wanted to come to Indiana and the reasons why, the stronger I felt about it. And then to get feedback that I've gotten really just confirms it across the board for me.
John Blau.
Sorry, had to get off mute there. So you talked about Tom. So what kind of relationship did you develop with him in that 1 year back in 2016? You talk about you saw this coming. What was it about Tom that helped you guys kind of form that bond, and how much of that bond did kind of maintain up until this point? Like you said, you reached out to him first.
Well, just watching what he did on the defensive side of the ball, just to create the culture that he created, the bond between, the players, and just the accountability and responsibility these guys had not only to each other, but to the greater mission. Those are things, I listen through the walls and just, God, man, listen to what he's doing over there, and just watching how we grew on that side of the ball, and sitting in meetings with him and just seeing his faith and the way that he connected with his guys and just drove them towards the bigger mission, So obviously, once he got moved into that complete leadership role as a head coach, and that month or so that I spent with him, it was strong, and even as I left to go on to USC, I always said, man, these guys, man, Coach Allen gonna get them guys rolling there. He's gonna take it to the next level. So I continue to watch that and just see how things progress with that, and then just everything kind of came full circle, and I just really felt it, on my spirit, especially for what the opportunity is there not only to work with Tom, but the rest of the staff and the university, and just where I am and where I foresee myself going here in the future. Indiana University was the place where I wanted to be.
All right, Kevin Brockway, then Rick Bozich.
Hi, Coach. Kevin Brockway, CNHI Sports Indiana. Tom Allen had talked to us last month about wanting to be more multiple in the running game. I'm just curious about your philosophy with that and your thoughts also on some of the guys you have to work with. Obviously, Stevie Scott's gone, but Samson James, David Ellis, and Tim Baldwin.
Yeah, there's talent, here for sure. And just to go backwards, to go forward, to go to the schematics and everything like that. I mean, those will be some things, once I get in the building and get a chance to get with Coach Sheridan and Coach Hiller and, just put together, a great scheme that's going to be effective for sure. Obviously, I'll come in, I'll have ideas of places where I've been that's been successful. But more importantly, once I get in there with those guys, that's where we're going to mix it up, because everywhere I've been, obviously including here these last few years working with, Le'Veon Bell and LaShawn McCoy, Kareem Hunt, all those guys. When you come in and give these guys a definite plan and definite eye discipline and definite things that they look at, it changes everything in your run game. It changes everything in your run game. So I'm just excited to get in there and work with the guys. I know that we got some highly talented players. I was texting back and forth with them last night, kind of messing around with them, sent them a couple of things on, about me, that might have been a little bit more behind the scenes, but just excited to get in there and develop those guys, because we got some talented guys in that room. And sometimes all they need to hear is maybe some things in a different way or have a different focus to take them to the next level.
All right, Rick, then Jim Coyle.
Yeah, hi, Deland. It's Rick Bozich at WDRB in Louisville. Is that an Emmy and a replica of last year's Super Bowl trophy in your background? And is that your Zoom moving forward?
It need to be, huh? Yeah, that's an Emmy. That's an Emmy for my E60. On me finding my birth family and everything, and then obviously that's my Super Bowl replica back there also. So those are gonna be some strong things out in recruiting. But at the end of the day, the university. I'm just the conduit of the university. And I'm gonna get these guys. We're gonna attract the right guys for the right reasons, and we're gonna get them on campus, and we're gonna go to work.
All right, Jim, and then Sammy Jacobs.
Hi, Coach. Jim Coyle, Indiana Sports Beat Radio here in Bloomington. You talked about all the talent, and now that you've been to the NFL, not that you needed more credibility, but you've worked with all these guys that you've talked to. The recruiting obviously is going to step up. The talent is already here, and if healthy Michael Penix comes back, all the pieces are in place for Indiana to compete for a Big Ten championship now. Things have changed since you were here last. Talk about that and the ability to jump right in at that high level.
Well, I don't have any problem jumping in at a high level, because of the places I've been. That's what you had to do. You had no choice. When I went to USC, them guys were coming off a Rose Bowl victory. And we had Ronald Jones, who was a good player but needed to be taken to the next level. And laid a foundation for him where he went from a speed guy to a high-end, complete upper-level All-American player, and those were just changing his mindset and putting some tools in there to make the game easier and he could play faster. Coming to the NFL, I mean, shoot, you're coming right into with the Chiefs, and there's no drop off there. You got to hit the ground running. I'm coming in with Kareem Hunt, who had just led the NFL in rushing. He looking at me like, how you gonna help me? And we did, and he was rolling until, through the season until some things happened where we had to make some alternative decisions, and just continuing to develop guys every year, Damian Williams, and then coming in this year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So the beautiful thing about recruiting for me, in addition to some of the things just as far as my resume is concerned, is the guys and those relationships. Every single one of my guys that I've coached, all of them, and definitely the guys from the last 3 years, all of them say the same thing: Coach, you're going to kill it. And any of them guys you talk to who want to know about good old Coach DMC, call us, FaceTime us, Somebody want to talk to LaShawn McCoy. Somebody want to talk to Le'Veon Bell. Somebody want to talk to Kareem. Somebody want to talk to Darrell Williams, Damian Williams, Clyde Edwards, Hilaire. I got those guys, on speed dial, and they're going to be willing to fill in the blank. So, that's going to be exciting going out to talk about that. But to me, the main thing is going to be the sell is going to be Indiana University. And like I said, I'll just be a conduit to get them in the building, and then the magic of IU will take over from there.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
All right, Sammy, then Peegs.
Good afternoon, Coach. Welcome back. Sammy Jacobs from Hoosier Huddle. From your last time in Bloomington to now, how have you grown both as a person and as a coach? What was your biggest takeaway from your stops at USC and then in the NFL with the Chiefs?
One thing is, probably the biggest thing is that I didn't have to change. There's no change. There's been no personality change. The room, the way that I operate in the room, has never changed. So just interpersonally, I think I just continue to sharpen my tool with different guys in different parts of the country and different levels of player, different ages. In my running back room that I just came out of, I talked to these guys and operated the same way I did in 2016, 2015, same thing, So that let me know that the methods that I have as far as communicating and teaching are tried and true. They're legitimate. Some of the growth as a football coach, just continuing to be exposed to different things has been very strong. Just being around different coaching minds, different philosophies, and different approaches, obviously climaxing with being with a future Hall of Famer and Coach Andy Reid and this staff. I mean, these guys, those got done, just finished coaching with, man, I ain't never been around nothing like that before. Just the ideas and the development about, plans. And I'm like, wow, so that was shocking, in a good way. But, there's definitely some things that I pull from that I'll be able to take and continue to help IU progress towards the goal of being a champion.
All right, Peegs and Dylan Walls.
Hey, Coach, welcome back to Bloomington. Mike Pegram from 247 and Peegs. Associate head coach goes along with this job. How attractive was that to you? What are some examples of what that may entail? Was that a big attraction to this job?
That was the main attraction, outside of the bigger picture of IU. Every year since I've been with the Chiefs, probably at least 3 opportunities have come up to go back to college, at least every year. But I said it made no sense for me to come back as a pure running back coach, because I can do that on the highest stage and just be a pure running back coach. If I'm coming back just to be a running back coach, I could stay where I was at the time, here with the Chiefs. So the opportunity to come back to be an associate head coach at IU specifically was very strong to me, because I know Tom and the administration would support me in continuing to grow as a coach overall and have a bigger impact beyond just the running back room. So I'm looking forward to addressing helping the team as a whole grow and touching other people outside of just the running back room. Having influence with the coaches and just things that we do on the bigger picture, interacting with the athletic department and just kind of helping alleviate some things for Coach Allen for sure, while at the same time, continuing to grow myself as a well-rounded overall coach and understanding and having an appreciation for what it is to run an entire program. So everything just matched up, with the opportunity, in its whole that drew me back to IU. And shoot, man, I can't wait to get going.
All right, Dylan and then Dustin.
Hey, Coach, Dylan Wallace, Sports Illustrated Indiana. You mentioned earlier just how you wanted to go to the NFL, and that would kind of be a learning thing for you so you can come back to college even better. I mean, what do you feel like you maybe learned that, you can bring to the table now back in college differently than maybe you did before when you used to be here?
Well, I think just the credibility now. I mean, I don't think I had credibility lapses before. I don't think that was, but just going for me, being able to go, come to the NFL level and relate and coach, motivate and inspire guys the way I did without changing who I am and changing my approach has been strong for me. The things, like I said, that I felt like I've grown with is just exposure, just being around, different philosophies, getting to see how things operate on the highest level, really being stretched as a coach as far as just your endurance. I mean, we played 23 games last year and we played 19 games this year. So, summing up and playing 42 games, in the last 2 years. I mean, it's been grueling, but what that did is just made my endurance even stronger. And then obviously being able to take some of the things I learned and share it out, not only with my players, but with the other coaches. Just the high level of detail that it takes to be a highly successful program. The mindset that you need to have, on a consistent basis, the way practice should look, the type of swagger and mentality that championship teams have, because that's all I've been blessed to be part of over these last few years. It can become infectious, but again, I think the foundation is laid here that Coach Allen has in place, that I'm hoping I can come in and just give a little tap right there to continue moving us forward as a program.
All right, Dustin, and then we'll wrap up with Kent Taylor.
Dylan, Dustin DePierre from the Daily Hoosier. Good to see you again.
All right.
Congratulations also. Wanted to kind of stay on that point. You talked about just the planning that you see at the higher level there with the guys in that staff, with Andy, with Eric and everybody. I wondered if you could elaborate on that. And what are some things that you saw in terms of, putting together offensive game plans, creating sort of offensive philosophies that stood out to you basically, and how do you feel like you've grown in that way, just seeing, how those guys operate?
Well, I mean, it was always pretty interesting, just the magic that happened behind the scenes, because we would come in and do so it'd be probably 8-9 coaches, and we would give a scouting report. So we all had pieces that we gave to Coach Reed. I mean, he would sit there and take copious notes, man. 3-4 pages worth of notes. He would ask questions. Hey, so tell me how the backers do this, or hey, what coverage do these? And a lot of it would be confirmation of what he already had seen, but he wanted to hear other points of view. The beauty of being able to contribute to what we did. I had the linebackers and things like that. So I would say, hey, coach, I think this would work or that would work. Coach would take all of those notes and he would go into his office. He would call us in at times when he needed further feedback. And then you would kind of see how everything comes together as we go through our base plan, et cetera. I mean, it really was amazing just how Coach Reed, along with Coach Bieniemy and all the rest of the staff, just put that plan together, and how in sync everybody was when we did it. And then you sell that to the players. Players believe in it. Coach was excited to present it. We were excited to present it, and then we went out there and executed it. So probably one of the bigger things I've seen too is just the belief that the players had in the coaches. On that level, they knew. I mean, these guys are experts. They the top of the top. So if I'm sitting there in front of these guys as a running back coach, they say he must be one of the best 32 running back coaches there is. This guy's a professional running back coach. Coach Reed is like, the NFL ain't gonna hire a slouch in those positions. So I'm hoping to bring, some of those things that I learned back, into our offensive staff room. And shoot, man, Coach Sheridan, that's his deal. I'm gonna just come in and, hey man, here's some things that I might be able to contribute to help us get over the top. But definitely in a running back room, keeping those guys moving forward and taking them to that next level. And there's so many examples I can show them of it. But, the biggest example is going to be when you take one of those guys that's currently sitting there and take them to a level that they never thought they can get to.
All right, Kent, last one.
Coach, this is Kent Taylor from Wave TV in Louisville. Did you ever meet John Pont when you were at Miami?
No, I didn't.
Take me through some coaches that you've worked with, or who coached you, from Randy Walker, and I don't know what your relationship was with Terry Hepner, but guys like that who've influenced you. I mean, they kind of like Tom Allen. They kind of had an infectious energy.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when I was at Miami, so you figure on that staff, I had, Randy Walker, obviously. Obviously, my dad coached me my freshman year. Sean Payton came in my junior year. Obviously, Kevin Wilson was there. Our strength coach was Dan Dalrymple, who's with the Saints right now also. So at Miami, those Coach Hepner. Actually, it was kind of funny after my freshman year at Miami, my dad had just left, and Coach Hep came up to me and he said, "Look, we want you to play safety." I was like fifth string. I was a red shirt, and he said, "Man, we want to move you to DB." He was the defensive coordinator and he was the defensive back coach. And I said, "Hey, if I can't get it done at running back this spring, I don't have a problem with it." And that spring, I beat everybody out, and I started the next 4 years. So I never got a chance to play on that side of the ball with Coach Hep. But obviously, always had a high level of respect for Coach Hep. And it's ironic that you say that as far as the energy and just the intangibles he brought to the table. Until you said, I didn't even think about that, but they strongly mirror that of Tom Allen. Wow. That's a great observation right there. I never even thought about that. So I see that for sure, and I mean that just makes it that much better.